Welcome back to another episode of the Joey Musto Show presented by Team Musto. Today we're going to be taking a look at the past 7 days in the Maui real estate market. We're going to start Sunday, March 29th, go 7 days back from there, talk about the number of new escrows, the number of new listings, where we're seeing inventory, and then two price reductions, one condo and one single family home that I am keeping an eye on. So let's go ahead and get started with the biggest story this week, which was new listings hit the lowest level of the year. So the past 2 weeks for new listings have been rough on Maui. One of the reasons for that is we've just had really bad weather. So it's important to keep that in mind when you look at all of these metrics. Week of March 22nd, we saw 40 new listings. Last week, I thought that was low when I was doing the show because typically we see, between 50, 60 new listings a week. Um, but this week it went even lower to 33 new listings. Now, one of them that I'm excited about is 11 Oleana Street. This is listed at just under 1.42 million. It's a three-bed, two and a half bath home. So there's two reasons I'm excited about this one. One is it's a single level home and it's in the parkways at Maui Lani. A lot of the homes in the parkways at Maui Lani are two-story homes. And then the second reason is just the size. So this is just under 2,000 square feet. It's on nearly a 10,000 square foot lot. A little bit later in the show, we're going to look at 96 Moana. And this is a property that did a price reduction, but it's on over a 10,000 square foot lot. But when we look at the pictures, you'll be able to see just how much size this is. Now, when you look at the parkways at Maui Lani, in the past 90 days, we've seen seven homes sell. This is high activity, especially considering the competition. So we haven't seen a lot of sales at the Legends, the Traditions, the Hoku at Maui Lani, the Islands at Maui Lani. The Islands at Maui Lani did add a little bit of inventory just in the past couple of weeks. I believe there's two listings now. When you look at 11, it's priced at $731 a square foot. And the average sold price in the parkways at Maui Lani over the past 90 days was $724 per square foot. Now, it is important to keep in mind that a lot of those homes in the parkways that have sold are new builds, and this one is resale. So moving forward from there, active inventory normalized this week. Active inventory is averaging around 1,580. However, we've seen peaks closer to 1,600 just in the last couple of weeks. So I believe it was 2 weeks ago, it was 1,598 listings. Then the week after, it fell to like 1,591. This past week, it went below the average to 1,568. Again, not too concerning. It wasn't that big of a drop. When you look at single family homes, 10 listing came off. Condos, five listings, land had no change. On the right-hand side there, you can see kind of how the inventory is split. Condos make up majority with 58%, homes 28%, and land with 13%. Biggest housing declines, Kula down four, Kihei down two, Kahului down two, Sprex down two, Lahaina down one. Condo movement was a little bit more mixed with declines in Lahaina, Kaanapali, Ma'alaya, and Napili. And then when it comes to inventory being added, this is not really something we want to see in this condo market. There's already a lot of active inventory in the Kihei condo market and the Wailea condo market, but we did see increases in both. So obviously, when there are more listings, and there is more inventory in one market, it makes it more competitive for sellers, and that's not really something we want to see in either of those areas. Next story is that new escrows were down 47% from February peak. So, like I mentioned before, the storm has kind of messed up the numbers in the Maui real estate market. Last week, they were down to 16 new escrows, and that was, I believe it was even lower than the week of January 4th, which was previously the lowest week, which kind of makes sense because that's around the new year. This week it was up a little bit to 26 new escrows, still below the peak of 49. Pendings were flat at 252. When you look at the most activity, different areas, Kaanapali had four condos. So it's good to see a different area on West Maui perform better compared to Napili. I believe Napili was leading last week in condo inventory, not just on the west side, but just in Maui in general. Kahului, Wailuku, Central Maui for single family homes. And then Kihei usually does it. I don't want to say it does well, but when you look at the split between condos and homes, it does better than other areas. They had three condos and then three homes, and then Lahaina had three condos, again, a different area on West Maui performing. And then additional activity, Kula had two homes, Napili two, Ma'alaya one, Pukalani, good to see a new escrow, especially because out there, there's not a ton of properties for sale, but the ones that are for sale have been sitting on the market for a long period of time. And it's a similar story with Sprecklesville. There's not that much inventory, but there is long days on market. Demand is active, but spread out, and buyers are selective across locations and price points. Now, price reductions is the one metric that has stayed consistent. So over the past couple of weeks, right, we've seen new listings fall, we've seen new escrows fall, even active inventory fell a little bit just with all the storm and the weather. However, price reductions has performed steady throughout. So the week of January 18, 2026, that was the most price reductions we saw. So we saw 77 price changes. Now you might see one or two of those price changes be a price increase, but majority of them are price decreases every week. And then the week of March 29, 2026, we saw 71 price changes. One of them that I'm excited about is 96 Moana Ave. This is located in Moana Estates. It's a subdivision out in South Kihei. It's next to Keonikai Heights. I'm a big fan of Moana Estates. Um, there's the streets are wide. It's a very quiet subdivision. Um, you're close to the highway so for convenience, but you're not close enough where you're hearing the road. So this property, it was quite large, so it was the bigger floor plan out at Moana Estates, five bed, four bath, 2,500 square foot home on a 10,000 plus square foot lot. It's at a 400 grand price reduction. We're just going to briefly take a look at the pictures. Now, it's important to keep in mind with the pictures that um, one, they emphasize the kind of outdoor living space, which I think is a good idea just because it is such a big lot, but the inside like this is virtually staged. So we're not going to spend too much time looking at the inside just because you'd actually have to go out there and see it to get a better idea of what it was like. But if you look at the lot size, it is big, and here's the inside. It looks a little bit older, but it does look like it would take a little bit of maintenance out here, just because the yard has a lot going on. Um, But yeah, a lot of space, big front yard, big backyard, long driveway, which I'm a fan of. So I just wanted to briefly stress the importance of the lot size there. Now, when you look at the past, I believe this was the past 90 days in Moana Estates. It might have been 6 months, but the last five bed, four bath that sold at Moana Estates was ended up selling for $680 per square foot. So with the price reduction, I think this thing is now in a range that is competitive at $816 per square foot. Also, if you're just looking for the best deal at Moana Estates, 96 is the best deal on a price per square foot basis. The competing homes are over $1,000 per square foot. In Kihei, sellers are getting 97% of asking, which is actually quite good compared to some other areas on Maui, and median prices are down 5%. So that is my favorite price reduction for single family homes. Now I'm going to talk about Unit 2504 at Wailea Palms. This one saw a 27% price reduction. It's been on the market for 300 days. So I think this is an important one for the agent to go back and market the price reduction. Just because from the looks and from the pictures, and I believe I actually did a showing at this unit, but it is a beautiful unit, and I think now that it's priced better, um, will attract a second round of people's attention. Two bed, two bath, ocean view, second floor unit. I'm going to talk more about it in the video I play here. But just before I play that, we'll talk about the Wailea condo market. So we've seen 19 sales year to date. That's up from 13 last year. So it is performing a little bit better. Median price 2.3 million, average 2.5 million. Sellers are getting 94% of asking. This ocean view two bed, two bath Wailea condo just dropped 27% after sitting on the market for over 300 days. In this video, I'm going to show you why this could be the next unit in line to sell at Wailea Palms. Unit 2504 is an updated second floor unit with ocean views, a remodeled kitchen, upgraded bathrooms, and clean finishes throughout. So it's ready to go. And it's in a Wailea condo complex with a pool, spa, fitness center, and easy access to the beach with an HOA of around $1,500 a month compared to over $25
2,500 at Wailea Ilua and about 2,300 at Wailea Ikahi. Wailea condo sales have picked up this year with 19 sales year to date, up from 13 last year, and prices are down with the median around 2.3 million and the average around 2.5 million. And that's exactly what you're seeing with this unit at 1.235 million. It's coming in over $1 million below the current median in Wailea. Sellers are getting about 94% of their asking price, which means buyers have leverage and aren't paying full price. In the past 90 days, 2 units have sold at Wailea Palms at around $1,220 per square foot. This unit is at $1,034 per square foot, so you're coming in almost $200 per square foot below recent sales in the same complex. Comment Wailea Palms on this video and I'll
Okay, so I think the most important part of that video was when I talked about the price per square foot. So this is now priced $200 below what has sold in the past 90 days at Wailea Palms. So I think that is one of the reasons that this thing is going to be the next unit that sells at Wailea Palms. And then just kind of finishing up with a final thought section. Today I have a showing at our Shores of Maui 114 listing, which I'm super excited about. And I think that kind of ties into the advice that I've been giving sellers. Because I always say that right now in this market, well, in any market, pricing, presentation, and availability are important, but specifically with the amount of active inventory out in Kihei for condos, I think availability is even more important. So yesterday I got a text about showing at Shores of Maui 114. And then as quickly as I could, I got in contact with the owner to make sure that I could do it. And then I scheduled it for the next day. Um, so again, I think that's just an important way to act right now, just because there is so much competition. So if somebody does want to see the unit that you have for sale, I think you need to get them through the door as quickly as possible. For buyers, on the other hand, inventory is still high, but tightening in some areas. So we did see a little bit of decrease in the amount of active inventory, but there is still a ton of inventory for buyers and a ton of options. Price reductions remain elevated. So, like I talked about earlier, we did see a lot of the metrics that I talk about, new escrows, new listings, even active inventory. Um, declined with the weather and the storm on Maui. However, price reductions stayed consistent. Focus on properties sitting or recently reduced. If you were looking for something in space in Kihei, it would be good to pay attention to something like 96. And then if you were looking for a Wailea condo, something like Wailea Palms, 2504s is a good option. So you do have leverage if you look at how much sellers are receiving in certain areas. It is quite low, like 94% for the Wailea condos. It's a little bit better for the Kihei single family homes at 97%. The best deals won't last. So if you look at the turnover in Kahului and Wailuku, Central Maui in general for single family homes is performing quite well compared to the other areas. And then anything else I need to talk about for sellers? Um, yeah, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much my advice for sellers. So thank you guys for watching this video. Here's all of our team information. I'm on all the social media platforms, and now I've got two accounts on Instagram. So I'm gonna be posting more shows from the clips. So make sure to follow Joey Musto on Instagram and then the Joey Musto Show also on Instagram to stay up to date with the latest in Maui real estate. And then besides that, I'm on TikTok, LinkedIn, Substack for more written content. And yeah, like, comment, subscribe, share in the comment section the kind of videos that you guys want to see. Thank you again for watching, and I hope everybody has a great week.